Hey YouTube, in this lesson we're going to get into the iMS-20 by Korg, which is a lot more expensive than the Technobox 2 we were using previously, but I think it's going to be worthwhile because you're going to get a lot more use out of this. Once you've mastered this, you're going to be able to take on anything. For people that have watched my previous episodes, you're going to come into this and see that it's a lot of complicated stuff, but you should be able to get right into it, so have no fear. For those of you that have not watched any of the previous lessons, you should fear a lot and go back and watch all of those, because we cover a lot of important ground that give you a basic understanding of synthesis and cut off filters and all this stuff that's going to be really handy when we move into the iMS-20. So when you launch iMS-20, you're going to see something like this. If you're not seeing this, you need to hit the synth button up top, because you got drums and a mixer and a song pattern thing. And we'll get to all of that a little later, but for right now, let's just look at the synth. And half of you are probably freaking out looking at the patch bay over here and saying, oh my god, what the hell, I don't even. And the other half of you are freaking out because you're seeing the keyboard roll up here and you see the sequencer. The rest of you are all going to go straight into a panic attack, but I can make it all go away by clicking here twice, and now we have something much more manageable to work with. And you'll see all the stuff that we're used to working with. It might be labeled differently, and it might be in different kind of configurations, but this is all the stuff we've already been playing with. We've got 2 oscillators now, which is different, and we mix those in with these individual mixers for each oscillator. And we've got a high-pass filter that is used before our low-pass filter. And we got an LFO now to play with and all kinds of other great stuff, and we'll get to all that. But for right now, let's get you playing some music here. Hit the Browse button and go into the minimal template, and you should have some like little drums playing around with you now. And bring up your Chaos pad, it's just as simple as that. We just start playing around on this and the music starts. And as you hear, that's getting cut way, way down. And if you look at our low-pass filter here, it's down to 3. So let's crank that up. And it's exactly like in Technobox, where we just raise our filter to hear some of the higher frequency stuff. And the way that the XY pad here that I'm playing with works is if you're holding a note at the top, it's pretty much a sustain. But as you go down, it reduces the gate, so it's going this pop, 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 pop thing, playing the note, instead of just holding the note down when it's up here. And as you go to the left or the right, you get different notes. And those notes are defined by this, which we're not going to worry about. This is just setting your scale and key. The only thing you need to know is that you change your key here and you change your scale down here, and as you change any of these, you're going to get different notes when you're playing around on here. And you close that by tapping the button. And over on the left, we've got another XY pad, and this can be assigned to all kinds of great stuff. And presently, it's assigned to the insert effect, which is this right here, which is presently in low-pass filter mode. As you see, it's got a whole bunch of different options. We're going to leave it in low-pass filter mode, but as you see, playing around, the X, the left and right here, is changing my cutoff, and the up and down is changing my resonance. So we've got 3 different filters going on. We've got our high-pass filter over here, and its own resonance, which for some reason Korg calls peak. And then we got a low-pass filter over here, and its own resonance. And then we've got this additional one is our effect right now, which is assigned to the Chaos Pad L. Now let's hide that right now. So if all we're using is these XY pads, you might be wondering, why are we doing this in the iMS-20 instead of the IK oscillator, which is designed specifically for being an XY controller? And the reason for that is we get to define the sounds in this instead of just being limited to whatever the Korg packed into the IK oscillator. We get to design everything. So I've got my simple bass sound preset right here, and now I can change it in any way I want. I want to maybe throw in a square here on the first oscillator, which is called a pulse because square oscillators are intrinsically pulses. We're changing the shape of it, like that, Right there, I've just made a change that I couldn't make in IK oscillator, and now I got a grindy sort of groan thing going on here. And I want to change the pitch on this saw wave. And now I can play along with the drum pattern, which I can also change. And feel free to play around with your filters because these are the same knobs you're used to working with, so you should understand how they're working. Here we're changing the frequency that we're cutting off at, and then we're boosting that frequency. So that's a lot of fun, and as I said, everybody can play music.